Hey there, today's a good day. And it's a good day because I have a brother that loves me. Yesterday, my brother Mark came over and gifted me with a whole big box of peppers. Got all kinds of different peppers in here, lots of jalapenos, a few different types of peppers. He also gave me some onions and a few really nice tomatoes. I said, hey, Mark, what am I going to do with this? He said, why don't you make some salsa? So that's what I'm going to do. I went to the store this morning, picked up a few more tomatoes and some garlic, because we always cook with fresh garlic, and some cilantro. So we are going to make some salsa. I haven't made salsa now in, probably 10 years. So this is going to be a little bit of an experiment for me. All the recipes I found on YouTube and on the interwebs talk about using a lot of tomatoes and a few peppers. Well, mine's going to be the other way around. I'm going to have mainly peppers and a few tomatoes. But you know what? I think it's going to turn out okay. Let's make some salsa. There we go, all nice and clean. Now for these tomatoes, I'm going to go ahead and scald them to get the skin off of them. Then I'll chop them up a little bit. I'm going to start by coring these out to get rid of the stems. And then we're going to pop these in some boiling water for a few seconds to release the skin. And then we'll chop them up. So now the skin is just peeling right off. And that'll make it a lot easier to chop up. Time to start working on the peppers. I am going to be taking all the seeds out of these peppers. Well, most of the seeds. I'm sure a few will remain in there. I'm just going to be doing a rough chop on all these, because my intention is to put these in the food processor and chop them up a little finer. So let's go at it. Like I said, there's going to be a few seeds left in here, but that's okay. It's an interesting one. It's got all sorts of little curves in it. A little tough too. No seeds in there. My brother Mark and his wife Diane have a gigantic garden in their backyard. They grow lots of peppers, lots of tomatoes, some melons, some squash, a lot of good stuff. They grow so many peppers that my brother Mark makes something called cowboy candy a couple times during the season. He pickles a whole bunch of peppers in there with onions and garlic, and some pretty tasty stuff. Some batches are more spicy than others, but they're all really good. Got lots of jalapeños in here. These are going to be a little more difficult to cut up, and you know what? I just thought of something. I should be wearing gloves. So I am going to stop right now and put some gloves on. There we go. You know, my wife's not home right now. She's usually the smart one in this family and reminds me to put on the gloves. Oh well. Hopefully I didn't touch too many hot ones, first of all. think right now I'm working on the more spicy peppers. Just for fun and for a little extra spice, I'm going to be leaving some of these peppers with the seeds in them. That's going to add quite a kick to the salsa. I believe my brother said these are the Serrano peppers, which, if memory serves right, they're pretty spicy. So we'll throw a few of those in there. My brother starts these peppers in the early spring. He's got a little indoor growing area, and he also has a greenhouse set up in his backyard. He watches over them things and starts them from seed, and they grow into some amazing plants. Guess it's a good hobby. Well, there you go. All chopped up, ready to go in the food processor. There's a few more seeds in here than I was hoping for, but you know, I think it's still going to be okay. Now, time to chop up the tomatoes. This looks like a good one. Time to take care of this garlic. Just lay it like that and just smash it down with your hand first. And it'll come right apart with these big, huge cloves. I got lucky. This one's got big cloves in it. Sometimes you get them with really small cloves, but that's okay too. Now to peel these, just smash it with your knife, with your hand on the knife, and out will come the garlic. Simply give it a chop or two. That's all you need to do. Dealing with fresh garlic is fun. Makes the house smell great. At least I think it does. And makes the food taste so much better. Suppose you could buy jarred garlic, you know, chopped up or minced. Or at the last resort, buy like a huge package of pre-processed garlic and throw it in your freezer. I wouldn't do that though. Just get the fresh garlic. It's easy to deal with. Okay, it's time to put these in the food processor and get these chopped up into salsa size chunks. You gotta remember, this is gonna be used on chips or maybe on a taco. So you want nice small chunks. There we go. Now that's looking good. Nice and salsa-y. So I'm gonna do the rest of these tomatoes, and then I'll start chopping up all those peppers and onions and all that good stuff there. Now it's time for all these peppers to go in here. I think I should be wearing some sort of a mask because I have a feeling once these peppers start getting ground up, there's going to be a lot of pain in the air. I think that's a good size. Here's the tomatoes and the peppers all chopped up to nice salsa size. But you know what? I think I'm making an executive decision here. I said it's going to be pretty pepper forward, which it is, but I still think I need a few more tomatoes in here, so I'm going to throw in a can of diced tomatoes to try to bulk up the tomato content of the salsa. I guess I should have paid a little closer attention to the size of the dice of these tomatoes. These are a little too big for salsa. I should have put petite diced in here. I'm gonna take my hand blender and just chop up those that I just dumped in. I just added the tomatoes to a stock pot. I'm going to add all these peppers. Okay, as this is heating up, I'm going to flavor it with some salt. I'm going to put a couple tablespoons of salt. Hopefully it's not too much. And I'm going to actually add a little acid to these tomatoes. We want to make sure no bacteria grows in the jars that this stuff will be stored in, so we add some vinegar. And my brother, not only did he give me the tomatoes and the onions and the peppers, he gave me some vinegar to put in. So I'm going to put some vinegar in here. I'm going to also offset that vinegar taste a little bit with some sugar. I'll do that to taste. The vinegar is in there to kill off any bad bacteria, any botulism bacteria. Not only am I going to put that vinegar in there, I'm also going to put a little citric acid in each jar just to make sure that the level is high enough to kill off any bacteria. So this is going to come up to a simmer. I'm going to let it simmer for about 10 or 15 minutes, and then we'll be ready to put it in the jars for canning. It's simmered now for about 10 minutes. I just turned the heat off. The texture looks amazing. Let me give it a little taste test. Ooh, this is some spicy salsa. I think I'm gonna like it. I'll put a touch of citric acid in each one of these. Now this might be an unnecessary step, and I'm guessing some people might say in the comments, why did you do that? Well, I saw it on YouTube, so that's why I'm doing it. Some people might say I didn't put enough in. Who knows? So let's fill these up. I'm going to try not to make too much of a mess. I'm going to get as much chunky stuff in there as possible. Strain out a bit of the liquid. These jars have been sanitized and they're ready to be filled. Thanks to my loving brother Mark and his beautiful wife Diane, I have 3 jars of salsa, 3 quart jars of salsa and 1 pint jar, and also a nice big bowl that I'm going to put in the refrigerator and eat over the course of the next few days. Now I just need to get these into the water bath and finish the canning. I just took these out of the water bath, had them in there for a little over 15 minutes. Now I'll wait for a nice seal to form on these jars, and I will have salsa for the next year. This is great. Now, yesterday when I woke up, I did not know I'd be making salsa today, but thanks to my loving brother Mark and his beautiful wife Diane, I got some peppers, I got some tomatoes, and I got some onions. And Mark said, hey, why don't you make some salsa? So that's what I did. And you know what? It turned out pretty darn good. The heat is there, and I'm liking it. Mm. And it's got a nice tomatoey kick to it too. It's turned out okay. Thanks, Mark, for the inspiration. Hey, whatever you guys are doing, I hope you're having a great day too. Thanks a lot for watching. See you next time. Very good.